Games having multiple tiers of difficulty is never a bad thing. The more agency a player has when it comes to controlling their avatar and getting the experience out of the game that they want, the better. And Dragon Age is no different in that it is a series that has traditionally provided players with all of those tiers of difficulty, which is a great thing. I'm one of those people who very much starts with story mode the very first time I go through a game, and if I like it enough to give it a second playthrough, I'll then do it on normal, and then if it gets a third, that's when I get into like the customized or hardcore modes that allow you to really tweak things and say, you know what, I've seen everything I wanted to see. Now it's time to actually see what kind of challenge I can get out of this experience. So, big fan of having tiered difficulties. I do not like the way the Souls-like experiences work, where it's like you've got one difficulty level, no pause menu, and you're expected to like get good or go home. Like that's not my way of playing. I know that some people like that, but when it comes to RPGs, I very much want there to be multiple tiers of difficulty, and then I can go from there and customize that experience as I want. So, apparently, Dragon Age the Veilguard is going to be following in the footsteps of the previous ventures, and I clicked the wrong thing there. In that it is going to be offering people various difficulty options and gameplay customization. And one of the things I find really interesting here is it sounds like they've taken cue from Larian Studios with Baldur's Gate 3 in that they're providing players with a completely customizable difficulty level, a difficulty rating, which I don't remember the previous Dragon Ages having that. I remember the previous Dragon Ages having some area of being able to tweak certain things. Maybe it's just been so long since I played them. And the last time I played the Veilguard, or excuse me, Inquisition was when it came out. And then I did a 2017 playthrough, and I've been doing a replay right now, but I haven't actually tweaked all the difficulty levels, leveling stuff because I've just been going easy mode because I just wanted to get caught up on the story. In any case, um, they're talking here about how you can select difficulties, as Bioware says. Bioware is calling them playstyles, with options like storyteller for those who are interested more in the story versus the combat version, adventurer for an experience that seemingly balances story and combat, and a difficulty mode called nightmare. The writer here says there might be more, but that's all he saw during the demo. At any point during the gameplay, you can change the game's difficulty unless you select nightmare mode. That's going to be the hardest difficulties. It's a permanent selection, so once you make that choice, you're locked in. There's also this one, um, an option called Unbound, which allows players to customize their gameplay experience to their liking, which allows you to adjust pretty much everything, it sounds like, from how wayfinding helps you in the game, aim assistance, and an auto aim option, which, by the way, for I'm going to be playing an archer. I am 100% turning aim assist and auto aim on. I'll see which one I like more. But if there's an option to like target lock and automatically fire my arrows at that target, I'm going to use it because having most recently I've been playing through Dragon Age Inquisition. That's how that works. Like the combat in that game is once you have a mob targeted, and even if you don't have a target, if you point in that direction, whether you're a mage or an archer, your ranged attacks automatically land on the closest target, and then you can target, specifically, um, pick a target to only shoot at that one. So having an auto aim option is going to be a big deal for me. So it's going to, we'll have to wait and see how it all works out here, but I will definitely be using that. Also says here you can adjust your combat timing to make parrying easier or harder, kind of like you can with Jedi Survivor and Jedi Fallen Order. You can also have there's three modes here. It says balance, forgiving, and a third harder option. So you can also change how much damage enemies do to you, how much damage you do to enemies. Option to adjust enemy pressure, and I'm wondering if they're going to have, because it's not mentioned specifically in this article, if they're going to be doing it like they do with like Starfield or Fallout, where when you turn on these hardcore options, you get an XP boost. So the trade-off is you're accepting a much more challenging gameplay experience, but in return, you're getting greater rewards in terms of the leveling experience of your character. It's not mentioned here in this article, so that'll be something that's interesting to see once the game fully comes out. Also, it says here there is a option to have a completely deathless experience, meaning your character can't die. And that's something that we've seen in some games. I want to say the Pillars of Eternity games have an option where you can tell it to go story mode with no death. I don't remember about the Dragon Age games though. I need to go back. Matter of fact, I'm playing more of Veilguard, or I keep saying Veilguard, Inquisition. I've been playing more Inquisition for the first time since 2017 as a prep for the Veilguard. So I probably need to check the next time I log into Inquisition on the Xbox and see what kind of custom difficulty options are there, and if you can also turn off the death. But that's really cool that they give you all these options, and I love the fact that Bush, one of the people from the team, is saying none of these options are a cheat. They are simply options to make sure players of all abilities can show up and have fun. She also says players can look forward to similar accessibility and approachability options. It says here the guy said I wasn't able to pour through Veilguard's other options to confirm exactly what's there because this was just a demo that they played. And this is part of their cover story about Dragon Age: The Veilguard, with game director Corrine Bush, talking about the game. We've already covered their character creator. If you want to cover their coverage, cover their coverage. If you want to read through their coverage, I highly recommend. I'm going to stick a link to this video down below because there's a lot of stuff here for people who want to unpack everything about the game if you really want to dive into the interview they did. But I think that for me, one of the things that they're looking to achieve, and this is just purely speculation, one of the things I feel like they're looking to achieve with Dragon Age: The Veilguard is going to be that feeling of inclusivity. Everyone can play the game, and everyone can find the exact level of difficulty that they want, whether that be super easy story mode or super hardcore Iron Man mode, where permadeath and or no quick saves. I don't know exactly how they're doing their hardcore mode, but typically that's what we've seen in other games. It's usually like you get one save file, or there's no quick saving allowed, or it's permadeath, or something along those lines. Um, like I said, having the ability to do story mode through the first time is always a big thing for me. As an example, Jedi Fallen Order. First time through, story mode. Second time through, normal mode. Third time through, I took it up to, I think it's Jedi Master, and had an even funner time the third time through, but I also knew all of the fights, and I knew how to actually play the game, and I knew, about the parrying and what abilities worked best against certain mobs, and so I'd already had the learning experience. With Jedi Survivor, I've only played the game once, and I'm planning to go back and do a second playthrough at some point, but it's been so long, I'm nervous about going on the normal mode because I don't remember how to play the game. So with something like with the Veilguard coming out with multiple customization levels of difficulty, big fan of that. When I went back, when Dragon Age, or excuse me, when Baldur's Gate 3 patched, when Larian patched Baldur's Gate 3 with the customizable options where you could turn dice rolls off and all that stuff, I immediately went and started another playthrough because it was like, yes, please. This is way more like tabletop than the previous versions were. So being able to tweak all these different settings, again, it comes back to player agency. I'm a big fan of what they're doing. I'm super excited for everything that's coming in the pipeline with Dragon Age: The Veilguard. I will be playing the absolute shit out of this game when it comes out, doing a completionist mode. I'll probably do two playthroughs depending on the length of the game. We might do those back to back. One is definitely going to be an archer, and I think I'm going to do the evoker because I want to do like an ice mage. Um, it's so good. And I'm also dabbling a little bit right now with Dragon Age Inquisition as I get caught up with the story because it's been forever and I don't remember everything. So if you want to catch all that stuff out, don't forget, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, daily streams here and on Twitch. There's a Discord and a Patreon and a Twitter and a TikTok and Facebook and all the things. Check the links. I'll see everybody in the next one. Stay safe and happy gaming.